From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 10th, 2024. An IDF soldier was killed yesterday in battle with Hamas terrorists in Gaza. 21-year-old Sergeant First Class Tal Lahat was taking part in a counter-terror operation at the headquarters of the UN relief agency UNRWA in Gaza City when he was hit by Hamas sniper fire. The IDF said the headquarters are being used by the Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorists to carry out terrorist operations against our forces in the center of the Gaza Strip. The Times of Israel noted that Lahat was among those who rescued residents of kibbutz Nahal Oz in southern Israel on October the 7th. The two Israeli civilians hit by a direct rocket impact in the Golan Heights last night were killed in that attack. Noah and Nir Baranes, both 46 years old, were driving back to their home on kibbutz Ortal when their car was hit during a barrage of rocket fire from terror group Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Baraneses leave behind 3 children. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met today with U.S. President Joe Biden's special envoy for the Middle East, Brett McGurk, at the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem, where the office said the two discussed regional issues, and that regarding the negotiations, it said, referring to ongoing talks to reach a deal with Hamas, the Prime Minister emphasized his commitment to a deal as long as Israel's red lines are preserved. Those red lines include that Israel will maximize the number of living hostages who will be released from Hamas captivity. Approximately 120 hostages, not all of whom are alive, have now been held in Gaza for 278 days. Well, families of hostages set out from Tel Aviv today on a 4-day march to Jerusalem to urge a hostage deal. Earlier today, in front of Israel's Knesset in Jerusalem, young family members of hostages sat in cages to call attention to their loved ones' plight. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum said several Knesset members joined the families, and some of them even entered the cages with them. They promised to do everything possible to support the deal that would bring all hostages home now. U.S. Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines released a statement yesterday on Iran's influence on recent anti-Israel protests in the U.S., saying in recent weeks, Iranian government actors have sought to opportunistically take advantage of ongoing protests regarding the war in Gaza, using a playbook we've seen other actors use over the years. We have observed actors tied to Iran's government posing as activists online, seeking to encourage protests, and even providing financial support to protesters. She said, "I want to be clear that I know Americans who participate in protests are in good faith expressing their views on the conflict in Gaza. This intelligence does not indicate otherwise. Moreover," she said, "the freedom to express diverse views when done peacefully is essential to our democracy. But," she said, "it is also important to warn of foreign actors who seek to exploit our debate for their own purposes." Haines said her office would continue to provide regular updates to the public on such threats. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, said the pernicious influence of the Islamic Republic is not new, but the fact that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence felt the need to warn the public in such a clear and open manner is stunning. Well, a statue of Anne Frank in Amsterdam was defaced yesterday, with the word Gaza painted in red on the base of the statue, which stands in a park near where the Frank family hid from the Nazis. Mayor Femke Halsema was cited by the JTA saying, "Whoever it was, shame on you. There is no excuse for this. No Palestinian is helped by defacing her precious image." World Jewish Congress saying vandalizing a statue commemorating Anne Frank, a teenage girl murdered in the Holocaust, by spray painting Gaza onto it will not help, quote unquote, free Palestine or help end the war. The only thing it helps is to fuel anti-Semitism. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, July the 10th. At 7 o'clock, Shahar Azani sits down with David Harris for an update on the current state of affairs in Israel and the Middle East. At 7:30, exploring the Jewish value of pluralism. At 9, Elie Abadie is on L'chaim. At 10, a performance from the Andalus Ensemble. At 10:30, a replay of the news. And coming up next, it's Thinking Out Loud. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 10th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.